this smart man has to say about everything. Now, the next session is titled Industry Partnerships and How New Technology Benefits Tours and Activities. Last year we tested this format and it worked quite well last year, so I thought we'll try again. We are bringing together two dynamic duos. They have promised me, they are full of energy and sparkly this morning. There they are, sitting at the ready. What we will do is we will hear from these two couples, and first we will hear from Manuel Hilty, who is CEO of Nezasa, and he's brought his client from FTI. That's the MD, Matthias Hurweiler. They will first give us 10 minutes around their partnership and how they came together and how it's working out. And then they will take to their seats again, and I will bring Fernanda Barance, who is CEO of the Trip Boutique, on with Benno Item, who is Chief Digital Officer of Twerenbold Reisen Group, and then they will tell us about their partnership. And this is really where we're going to dive in and talk to tour travel providers and find out how they work with technology companies. So I'm very excited about this, and they are going to highlight really how technology is enhancing their relationship with their customers and how it's playing a major part to actually digitize the tours and activities sector. Towards the end, I'll bring all four back on stage and we will have a Q&A where I will dig in a little bit more. So, first to the stage, Matt and Manuel, please. You should have a possible clicker. You do. I'll give you the stage and I'll come off, and then when you're done, please take to the seats again, and I'll bring Fernanda and Benno on stage. So the stage is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Hi, everybody. We'll keep it short. It's Matt is from FTI. It has been our first really big and still best customer.
Grüezi miteinander. Hello, everybody.
They're the third biggest tour operating group in Europe, very famous also for their long-haul and modular tour operating, very strong for North American destinations, for example, which was the perfect fit for the technology that we have, which provides very flexible packaging capabilities and ways to plan, book, and manage all types of itineraries in a very automated way. So we came together. I thought we were on the next slide, sorry, but that's basically us. So we started together a while ago. Maybe you can say how that all played out.
Yes, real quick, as I rejoined FTI Group in 2014, I had a dream. I was looking for a shopping basket for travel industry. And in 2014, nobody could provide what we and I was looking for. A shopping basket where I can put tailor-made things in. Today, it's industry standard. 10 years ago, it was not a standard at all. Again, nobody provided me the services. Due to coincidence, I met Manuel, and he told me about his dream, what he's trying to program, and how he would do that. And as you know, a tour operator always has a legacy system, and the legacy system is not that flexible. So we talked about, we have the legacy system, let's connect a submarine to it, especially for the shopping basket, where we can put different tailor-made modules into one basket, and the client can check out by buying this one basket. And of course, the requirement was it has to be changeable, it has to be flexible. That's how I met Manuel, and he told me about Nezasa. At that time, you didn't work with tour operators at all, you had another idea. Luckily, we could convince Manuel and Nezasa to join the B2B side and don't go to B2C because it's so expensive to do all the promotions. That's how we started it. And of course, North America is a typical, very tailor-made destination. So our testing child, as we call it, was North America. And of course, we made a lot of improvements over the last few years. We started the self-drive, we started to customize it. We did a lot of completion work in 23, And in 24, we still have to do cleanups. Not everything is working the way we want, and we got a lot of input from you guys, travel agents, clients. Please change this, please change that. Don't forget, we're not only talking about the bookable content. We have to provide a very nice non-bookable content in order to get there. And North America is on a quite good stage now. We're still working on very difficult things like, if you know Thailand, there are islands. You have to get there, you have to take a ferry. So we're working on those kind of things with Nezasa. But I think in America, we got quite far.
Thank you, Matt. If we look back, what were the biggest challenges in doing something like that? So large established players like FTI, they all have existing system landscapes. So the most difficult question, and that's one where we actually did a lot of learnings together, was, do you start from scratch? Do you integrate into the existing landscapes from the beginning? So here the decision was made to combine our platform with the existing landscapes. We had to figure out how to do that in the best way. What's the right separation of duty? What should our system do? What should the rest of the landscape do? So these were some of the main challenges we were facing. The goals that we have together is really to bring as much flexibility and automation in all of FTI's modular business, how they call it, also solve all of those island use cases, and last but not least, actually bring the standard package tour operating and this flexible tour operating together and eliminate the separation between those two. So why should I not be able to search a standard beach package somewhere on a Thailand island and then say, well, I'm actually extending this into a more complex itinerary? And that's basically the last step we want to go together in the next few years.
Well, if I pick it up from there, still the future, the very first meeting with Manuel, and I come out of the analog times. I don't know if you're old enough to remember what a brochure is, but we said, today we're doing brochures and basically offering the client something like a round trip in India, for example. But we are sure that 90% of our clients want to adjust this round trip. So we give them like a hint, a taste, a recommendation, but who is going to book it one-to-one? In India, we had a 5% quota of one-to-one, and 95% of our clients said, that's a great idea, but I want to have one night here additional, one night less here, and so on. So I said to Manuel, I want to show instead in a brochure, on a digital way, I will still want to show the recommendation we have. We were pros, we know India, we blah, blah, blah. And we have to give the clients the capability to cut and implement. That's why we defined a project called Scissors, just Scissors. We're still working on this because we have not a flexible package. I want to have this on a standard package as a recommendation. The client comes and says, great, I'm going to the Nile. I want to have this and this Nile ship, but I don't want to stay in your hotel you recommend on the beach as pre and post. I want to cut it out. I want to go to a 5-star, and I want to be 2 nights longer than what you recommend. This project will be our last project in the big terms. We're fixing a lot of little ones. We're programming a lot of little ones. And hopefully within 24, 25, we will start the project Scissors, where then we have a full flexible system on a recommendation, and every client can exchange every little detail they will and create his own dream out of a recommendation. So nothing else than it was an analog brochure and some thinking, and a travel agent changed it. We want to go the digital way, and that's the biggest goal to accomplish.
Thanks. So we already accomplished a few things. The agent like what they have, which is great. We see volumes going up. In order to make Matt really happy, we'll give him the scissor, and then hopefully next year we'll be able to say we've accomplished the whole mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you very much, guys. Please take to your seats for 10 minutes or so. And it's my great pleasure to now invite Fernanda and Benno to the stage to tell us about their partnership. The stage is yours. Let's give them a hand, please. Thank you.
Hello. You will ask you, what is a CDO of a 129-year-old tour operator doing on stage here? And telling you some parts on how do we integrate Gen AI in our operation. Now, when we started our digital transformation some years ago, we defined two primary goals. First of all, we want to become more personalized for our guests on the whole tour, from studying what to book to coming home. We want to make sure that people really get what they want to get from us. And second, we have to make sure that we can do that at a reasonable price. Reasonable price means we have to automate whatever we can automate. And that are our two primary goals in our digital path. So, who are we? We are a travel operator. We operate 4 different brands. We have about 100+ buses that we operate. We have 12 river cruise boats and yachts. And we offer about 1,000 trips with 4,000 departures a year. We have normally about 100,000 guests. We produce, like Matt, 3,000 pages still in printed brochures and ads every year. And we send out 150,000 emails to our customers and people that are interested in our products every month, every week. And 75% of our clients that are booking on our website are so-called repeat customers, so they are with us for the second, third, and so on time with us. Now, what we wanted to achieve is to have, for everyone, a personalized email that we're sending out, because we know quite a lot of those customers, but since today, we basically send out to everybody the same newsletter every other week. And that's where Fernanda comes and tries, or not tries, is helping me to be more effective there. Fernanda, it's your turn.
Thank you, Benno, for this introduction. So I am Fernanda, CEO and co-founder of the Trip Boutique AI. And we are a B2B SaaS solution using AI to help our partners, like Twerenbold Reisen, hyper-personalize the whole, basically, experience and relationship with their clients. We do that in multiple ways. We have a multi-modular solution that helps hyper-personalize the relationship from marketing, so marketing campaigns, which is what we're going to focus on here, but also hyper-personalize travel itineraries. Our partners range from OTAs to DMOs to retail travel agencies, tour operators, like is the case with Twerenbold. And if we're talking about hyper-personalization, the number one thing, so the first step is to understand deeply the client. So here, in our case, we started off from very basic client segmentation that would go around contact information and acquisition channel, loyalty level. But what Twerenbold always had, as Benno said, is a very important and very significant footprint, data footprint about their clients. After all, they are very loyal clients, and over the years, they collected very important data via different ways, customer feedback, but also a long history of bookings. So that's what we used as a base to use our AI to create really rich profiles. And those profiles are taking all this data footprint into account and creating different levels of interests and preferences, and also the dislikes of each one of Twerenbold's clients. On the other side, to create hyper-personalization, what any travel brand needs is to have a deep understanding of their products. So in the case of a destination, you need to have a deep understanding of your destination. In the case of a travel agency tour operator, a deep understanding of your travel packages and your itineraries. So that's precisely what we did also with Twerenbold. From basic package categorization, so using really, let's say, hard type of categorization, bus and flight, or 9 days, it's a multi-day trip, to really using data analysis and creating insights on each single package. So we could also multi-layer and understand each package is appealing more or less to what kinds of customer interests. And it's not appealing to what kind of customer preferences. So having this mapped, this was the first step. It was the data analysis and the data structuring. We move now to the output, which is now focusing on our marketing module, which allows now Twerenbold Reisen to move from a one-size-fits-all kind of marketing communication with our clients. As Benno said, thousands and thousands of newsletters sent out per year, which were one-size-fits-all, so the same packages being offered to everyone. And now we're moving to AI-generated, hyper-personalized messages. So we're sending out campaigns in which every single email is different, and the packages included in these emails are appealing differently to each client. So here you have an example of Frau Halle, to whom we're sending the package that is appealing, and we're highlighting why this is appealing to her, based on all the interest that we captured from her, from the past experiences, and naturally now based on this interaction, the clicks, the feedback that we get on those recommendations, our algorithms are learning further and further refining the profiles of each client. So with that, we're hoping to be helping Twerenbold build superior relationships with our clients and creating marketing effectiveness, because every single marketing dollar now is going to deliver the right recommendation to the right client. So Benno, with that, I pass it back to you.
You know, we are a shop with 0 programmers. So the only way we can tap in those very exciting tech world is by finding companies that can help us to leverage there. And we started a lot of activities in this whole AI world where we don't always know is the outcome positive or not. We have to try it, and we try hard. And I can tell you about this. We had our first trial last Friday, and it was positive. We had positive outcome when we compared click rates and opening rates compared with a group that received the normal newsletter. So I'm very thankful for that, and we will go on with our cooperation.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and Charlotte.
Thank you. Let's give them a hand. Thank you very much. Now I bring the gentleman back on stage, please, and we will do a little bit of a Q&A. I thought we should just be standing because, well, yeah, whatever. That's what you do when you're at Messe Berlin most of the day anyway. So thank you very much, all 4 of you. Really good to hear about these partnerships. I think it's a nice little tradition that we've come up with for this particular track. So I thank you all for being here. Fernanda, I'm going to go to you first. There might be some organizations out there that are sort of holding back in terms of engaging with tech organizations because their perception might be that it's very complicated and the implementation process is going to take forever. Can you maybe put people's minds at rest that this doesn't have to be very complicated?
Yes, of course. So indeed, the AI term is still a bit scary for most traditional types of organizations, and they do wonder, how can I even start? What I can assure is that in our case, we do the heavy lifting. So in Twerenbold's case, we just had to access data. So clients need to trust that data to us, and we will sort it out. So we will work with the structuring, we will work with the refinements, we will work with the proposals in a way that the client can get the best possible outcome. But that's it. We lower this hurdle of entering the AI world by taking care of a lot of it, so the clients can enjoy it and just benefit.
I think it's certainly a thing that can't be emphasized enough, particularly as I know that a lot of travel organizations are always searching, for very good tech partners. It's nice to know that somebody is doing, I think, the heavy lifting for you. Benno, a little question to you as well. any sort of learnings that you can share with other companies from, you know, getting set up with the Trip Boutique? I mean, what were the hurdles, what were the challenges, but also what were the joys? Maybe a little bit of everything. I'm sure there is a little bit of everything.
There is a little bit of everything. The results are the choice right now. The hurdles is, you know, I think you have to make sure that you go in small steps and that you have to define goals in every step to make sure, okay, I go on where I have an opportunity, where I see positive results. And you have to have the courage to say, we stop it here. It's not what we expected. Maybe the approach was the wrong one. We have to try something else. And I think it's always good to have 2, 3 adventures, so to say, in parallel, so that you can play with them and see how you're going to integrate them in a later stage. I would never go for one bet. So you need several bets, and you have to make sure that you work with people together, that you feel comfortable in terms of it's not just blah, blah, what they present you. There is substance behind, you know.
Okay, and agility. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Agility is ever present. Is ever present when you are trying to actually get to the best possible end result. And as you say, to have the courage to stop. You know, sometimes you just need to have the courage to say no longer and then move to the next thing. Matt, let me come to you. Why did you choose to work with Nezasa sort of in the first place? I know you've helped. You were telling us, you know, you asked Manuel to do this and asked him to do that. But there must have been some reason why you went there in the first place. Tell us about that.
The honest truth would be I didn't find anybody else.
Okay. Good.
No, as I explained before, we talked to a lot of companies about this 10 years, 2014 basket, no more print, digitalization, and all of them gave me an answer, but none of them gave me a complete picture of my imagination. And through one of our employees who knew Manuel very good, and they tried, if I remember, directly from the DMC, the content to the client. And I told him this is BS, so I don't have to say the word. And he was the first one understanding the complete picture of my dream. And again, we started in 16 and we are not finished in 24 because there are a lot of technical challenges, there are legacy systems, myself changing my mind, want to get better. And Manuel was basically the reason, the first guy who understood the picture, so I still standing here with Manuel.
Good, great. Well, that's another good story, you know, in terms of starting maybe small and building. That's often where it are. And again, there is constantly going to be coming new technology in, and that is why it never really stops. You're never really done, I guess.
You're never done, correct. Exactly. And once we are done, I have so many new ideas, so we're not done.
Probably start a new job by then. Manuel, how do you see Nezasa's role here? I think you touched on it a little bit, but your role versus the role of FTI.
It evolved. We also did a lot of heavy lifting in the beginning, actually too much, so don't do too much of it, because when you're small and you start to work with large customers, in the beginning you inevitably get into a situation where you fix too many problems for them, which later you realize we went way too deep into the legacy, and at some point it will slow you down. So what we actually did over time is we basically pulled a step back and said, okay, we're giving you APIs, all of our customers, we're giving you APIs, and somebody has to integrate against those APIs instead of doing too much of the heavy lifting and then basically getting into a build trap where you're doing so many custom things for so many customers that at some point you just never have enough resources. So I think over the years we had to learn where the right point is to stop and say, look, this is not our job anymore. Somebody else has to take it from here and do the rest. And that's a learning curve. I think we got better in it, but it's an eternal question. It's also something with which you're never finished, probably, to figure out how should we actually plug everything into each other. Yeah.
I think the advice is if there are tech companies, I hope there are tech companies in the room, it's definitely a good piece of advice, and I know that Fernanda will back that up as well. You can soon end up just going too deep with just one client, and actually that obviously takes away from your efforts elsewhere as well. Fernanda, when we spoke, as a tech company, what do you see as an organization's main responsibility towards partners like Twerenbold?
I believe that because we are in the field of travel, one of our key responsibilities is to be in tune with what the traveler wants. And being in tune with what travelers or the end clients of our clients want creates space for us to innovate and to bring the best solutions to our clients as well. So I believe this is a case where this happened. We understood that there is a gap in the market. The solution was not created, so we had to fix that. And now we're bringing that to our clients with these positive results that Benno mentioned. So.
Yeah, and I think that's another important point that we have spoken about again and again, those of you that I know very well. It's actually about finding a gap in the marketplace. Be very careful not to go out and develop something that either somebody is already doing pretty well or that is going to take you 10 years to build. So finding the gap and filling it and actually giving a good service in that particular area, that's obviously key to success. Benno, I had, you were talking about sort of the challenges. I want this to be a positive, but if there was something that maybe you would have done slightly differently, what would it have been, you know, that everybody in the room could benefit from? Maybe nothing, I don't know.
No, my character is I always find things that I would do differently. But you know, we are in such early stage, it's maybe too early now for this relationship. There are many others where I think this clearly define the milestones and really ask yourself, do we progress as we plan to progress? Is there a chance to bring this home successfully? I think that's my main learning of all my many years in tech and the travel industry, that you have to be very, very precise there and really do this.
Great. Well, I'm a great believer of deadlines and meeting them. So maybe that would be my one bit of advice to anybody in any type of business, as it were. Manuel, maybe the final question to you, again, a little bit similar to the question to Benno. What is your learnings? And I think you've touched on it already. Is there anything that you can further sort of elaborate around lessons learned, not necessarily just with FTI, but some tech company that's been around for, what, 8-10 years now?
Well, then,
there are a few.
we always learn a lot of lessons. I think it's maybe one thing that I think it's important is always to try to find the right balance between like big goals and small steps. I mean, we started with a big goal, and I think if we hadn't started with a big goal, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. On the other hand, at some point, you also have to realize that only a lot of next steps will eventually take you to the big goals. So always try to basically look at both of them.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think with that, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Fernanda and Benno. Really, I hope this has been interesting to our audience as well. I know all of these guys are here today and tomorrow, so maybe find them, have conversations with them as you see fit. Thank you very much for coming, and let's give them a hand, please. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Maybe exit this side over there. Thank you.